This is Jas.
And Sher.
And you're listening to Giving Up the Ghost Podcast. Woo!
Yay!
We have no sound effects, so that's all you're going to get
terrible.
on a Tuesday night. Sher's calling in from remote because we have a special guest on tonight's episode. We have Kris with the Winnipeg Ghostbusters. Welcome to the show, Kris.
Yes, welcome.
Oh, thanks for having us. You know who to call.
Yeah, exactly. Who do you call? So with respect to the Winnipeg Ghostbusters, how long have you folks been together?
We're coming up to 5 years.
Nice.
That's 5 years since the group started, but we've kind of been together doing stuff for about 6.
Okay, that's cool. Very cool. And your prime goal, like I know there's charters, right? Like that's how it works. There's like charters in a lot of the big cities, correct?
Yeah, there's, I've lost count. I know we actually just did, one of the other groups from Chicago, put a whole map together of just the groups in North America, and I think we're at like 170. So
Wow.
pretty much every major city in North America has at least one group or so, but there's probably over 200 across the world.
That's amazing. Wow.
That is a huge amount. Holy.
Yeah. And do you know how it started? Like who came up with this idea? Like it's pretty amazing.
I think, honestly, I think just people, it's kind of a grassroots thing. People just started doing it for the love of Ghostbusters. They just wanted to cosplay. And, there's some groups out there that have been doing it for 10, 15 years or so. And it's just kind of skyrocketed ever since, I guess, the 2016 movie came out. Sony decided that they wanted to start recognizing the groups, and they, would send out certificates, making you an official Ghostbusters franchise, and it would be signed by Ivan Reitman, who was the original director and the producer of all the new content that comes out. Unfortunately, he passed away last year, but he would sign the certificate, making you authentic. And the only real requirement of being a Ghostbusters franchise was you have to get back to your local community any way your group seems fit, like whatever charity you want to support. So our group mainly focuses on helping children's charities, either by supporting them at events or raising money for like the Children's Hospital.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's really cool.
And I'm sure when you guys show up and the kids see you guys, they just must lose it, hey? Like that must just be the best thing ever for them, aside from the real Ghostbusters, of course.
Well, it's great for them, but it blows us away. Like, it just melts our heart. You see these little 3 or 4-year-olds coming running up to you, and, they want to give you a hug, and then you're not paying attention. All of a sudden you hear, Ghostbusters! And you turn around, and there's a little kid dressed up, with a proton pack or a flight suit on, and it's so just cool to see that look in their eyes. Like, it's such an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
Like, it feels, it's hard to define it, but, like, you get greedy for it. Like, because it just feels so good giving back to these kids and, kind of passing that fandom on to the next generation.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say, like, it's all in the giving, right? Like, that just is more than anything, especially with little kids, right? Like,
little kids are the best, and they're so honest.
Yeah.
Totally honest. If they love you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But,
they
look up at you with those with their eyes, like, of admiration, and, they think you are a real Ghostbuster. You're as real to them as a firefighter or a police officer, and you're just someone to make them look up to, and they feel safe around you.
Yeah, and
that's so nice.
And they'll remember that for the rest of their lives. Like, that's just it too, like that's something that, money can't buy a memory like that, like, honestly. So that's amazing. And
we're definitely hoping like that is, a core memory for someone later down the road. Someone will come up to us 10, 15 years down the road, like, I was 4 years old and I went to the Teddy Bears picnic and I saw you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I've been obsessed ever since.
That would be awesome.
Something I'm looking forward to in the future that hopefully will happen.
Of course. And how many are there in your group right now? I know it fluctuates a little bit on and off, right? So.
Yeah, like we have, I think right now we're close to about 15 active, like full Ghostbusters. We do have like a lot of support staff in that too.
Right.
That kind of help us out or do stuff behind the scenes, graphic design work, ads, or just helping us, build props or set up stuff. But about 15 that are actively coming out with proton packs and flight suits on.
That's cool. Very cool.
That's cool.
And how do you make a proton pack? Like, is that a hidden? Is that like a secret? Top secret?
A lot of petty cash, we'll see. My original one is a fiberglass shell. It's all working electronics.
I gotcha.
I had actually a prop maker from Los Angeles make it, who had worked on doing props for Sony. So that one was quite expensive. They've come down quite a bit in price, and the manufacturers, like Hasbro, for example, just came out with a full replica one. So a lot of people have kind of gone through that, and those are roughly about $800 once you're getting all in, compared to $2,000 to $3,000 to build one yourself.
Yikes! Yeah, no kidding. Oh, but that's still pretty cool. Like, I mean, it's kind of nice to have that option that you can actually get one somehow, right? So to feel more authentic, I guess, right? But
yeah, it's nice because everyone kind of starts out with the same base model then, and then in the Ghostbusters world, everyone wants to tinker and come up with new hacks and this and that. So they'll come up with different things, and they'll share it to the other groups, or someone maybe built a motherboard that can do a different sound or something like that. So it kind of gives you a good base to start at, and you always have room to modify it and make it your own any way you want it.
Right. And how many times have you seen the movie? For just honestly, what do you think? 40, 50, 60?
Like this year, or?
Good answer. Or should I say, which one's your favorite?
I've been asked this question before, and I have to honestly say I'm probably pushing between 400 to 500 times.
Wow, that's dedication.
So I've been watching it since it's one of my core memories from when I was a kid. Like, it came out the year I was born, and it has always been part of my life. I don't know when it started. I don't know what was the first introduction to Ghostbusters. All I know is it's been part of my life and who I am. And it's that movie where if I'm feeling down or I'm tired, maybe I'm having a hard time going to sleep one night, I can throw it on. Or if I'm sick one night, I want to throw it on and watch it. Like, it's just my jam, right? And my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Your go-to, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I totally feel the same way about Ghostbusters. If I'm like flicking around the channel and there's really nothing that piques my interest to watch, and Ghostbusters is on, it's like, okay.
Yeah, for sure. I know it.
Yeah, for sure. And so which one is your favorite, though? Because there's now, four, right? Like, there's the two originals, the 1 and 2, then the one with the girls, and then the one that just came out last year. Right. Or 2 years ago, maybe.
Probably, it's really a...
Is that like picking children?
I mean, place in my heart. The first one, obviously, it was lightning in a bottle. 2 was great because I felt like it kind of was aimed more towards kids. They kind of toned it down a little bit more.
Right.
They made it a little more heroic, not as scary. And, I always loved that one as a kid. And I've come back to loving it more as an adult. I just appreciate it a lot more because it was more of a 90s movie compared to the original. It was more of an 80s movie.
Yeah.
And then going back into, Ghostbusters Afterlife that came out a couple of years ago, that just felt so much like the original, it was a direct sequel. I almost want to think of it as like a Valentine that Jason Reitman had done for his father to pay homage to the original.
Right.
Like, just from the score, how it was filmed, the sound effects, like everything. So those 3 are definitely my top ones. I'd probably say Ghostbusters 1, though, is my all-time favorite.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And with regards to, you've met a couple of the stars.
Yeah, we had the chance a year and a half ago. We got to meet Ernie Hudson, who was Winston Zeddemore, one of the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
He was in town filming a movie with Woody Harrelson called Champions, which I believe just came out a couple months ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yes.
Very cool.
And we kind of heard he was coming to town. I reached out to a couple people I know in the film industry and just said, we would love 5 minutes of his time. Like, we know he's busy filming. We don't want to, take up too much. And,
of course.
And that. And just kind of sat on it. And a couple of days later, I look at our email, and there is an email from Ernie Hudson himself.
Wow.
And at first I thought it was someone playing a joke on me, right? And
Yeah.
I go and read it, and I could just tell by the way he was communicating that it was definitely him.
Yeah.
And he just said, Kris, I heard a rumor about you guys. I checked you out. I absolutely love what you guys are doing and what all your franchises do. And he's like, I'd love to meet you. I'm free tonight. I'm not filming today. I'm staying at the hotel for Gary. They keep telling me there's a haunted room.
Yeah.
They want me to go check it out. But he's like, there's no way I'm going to check this out. But
That's funny.
Why don't you guys come down here in your gear?
Give it a sweep.
Meet me. We'll take some pictures. We'll hang out. And we'll do a photo shoot in this room. And we'll do photo shoot, in different places of the hotel. I'll set it all up. You guys just come down here tonight.
Nice. Wow.
That's awesome.
We were like, wow. Like,
that's amazing.
Are you kidding me? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
so I'm calling everybody, like, we're meeting Ernie tonight.
That's funny.
We got to go.
Yeah. It's like, who does Ernie Hudson call? Well, he calls Kris at Winnipeg Ghostbusters.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Wow,
awesome.
He spent, he took the time to meet everyone individually and talk to everyone. He spent over an hour and a half with us.
Wow,
He was
that's
telling us
nice.
stories. We took the photos. He signed a whole bunch of stuff, like our proton packs.
Beautiful.
A couple things we're gonna auction off for charity. Everyone kind of got like one little memorabilia thing signed, but like just loved being with us. He everything he signed, he kind of his own little special message. Like he signed one of my buddies' laser disc and was like, "Keep on busting, Brian," and he did some videos
nice.
for us.
That's
And
nice.
like it was just so mind blowing to have that experience because so many people say don't meet your heroes because you're going to be disappointed, right?
Right.
That does not apply to Ernie Hudson at all.
I was going to say, yeah, I was going to say, like it's always a 50-50. Like you just never know what you're going to get, but if somebody, if he's that genuine, like God love him, like seriously, like he took that time with you guys and signed merch and your own personal stuff. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, that's really good, man.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, for sure. Now with regard, I was going to say, you guys don't have an ectoplasm mobile, like an Ecto one, right? You guys don't have anything like that, eh?
We do have one. We retrofit, actually, my Toyota FJ Cruiser. On occasion, we do set it up and we do use it, but MPI doesn't like us driving with all the equipment on, so
Gotcha.
we have to set it up on scene if we do an event with it.
Ah, right. I see.
Damn it.
Yeah. Our friends, we made friends last October with Six Pines, right? Friends that's there.
Yeah.
They've got the nice one, hey? Have you seen?
One.
Oh, yeah, James and Judy.
James and Judy.
Theirs is
Oh,
beautiful.
Thank you.
It's a J.
Some photo shoots with it.
Yeah.
They're actually going to be coming out to an event we're doing next month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like the offer's always up on the table for James that when the time comes he wants to move it, he knows where to come.
Yeah, no kidding, for sure. So, and yeah, like we got to record there last October, like for Halloween, right? And that car is in there pretty good. So it's just like, I don't know if they actually bring it out because it's...
Yeah, she's in there, man.
She's in there, yeah. A lot of trick driving on that one. So you have not met Dan Aykroyd yet, right?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
We thought we were going to have the chance because actually when Ghostbusters Afterlife was coming out, they filmed the whole movie out in Alberta.
Okay, right.
And our friends, the Calgary Ghostbusters and the Alberta Ghostbusters, were actually involved in it a little bit. And they actually got to meet Dan a couple times while they were filming. And Sony actually approached those groups and said, we're going to show our respect for the movie being filmed here. We're going to have a Canadian premiere in Fort McLeod in the theater that if you watch the movie and you see them driving the Ecto down the street and they're chasing Muncher, they shoot the beams and they hit the theater sign.
Yep.
That's the Princess Theater, so that's actually where the premiere was held.
Oh, sweet.
And it was a red carpet, but they talked to them and they said, you know what? You need to have these Winnipeg guys come out. Like they're a blast. Check out what them. So Sony reached out and they invited us to come. So 3 of us jumped in our car and we drove out there. And
oh my God!
The rumor was that 1 or 2 of the stars were going to be there, but unfortunately, I guess with weather and whatnot, and the New York release, they didn't make it. So we came close.
Oh, damn it.
That's our dream, is to get Dan Aykroyd on our show, just because he's a
blubbering idiot.
No, you'd be fine. You'd be, like we like to speak, well, because we're all about the ghosts, right? We share the ghost love. I'm not sure if you know much, but we cover local Winnipeg and Manitoba, specifically. Like we don't talk about, haunted stuff in Ottawa, like, all that kind of stuff, right? So we center on here. And with Dan Aykroyd having his prairie roots in Saskatchewan, there's a lot of similarities, and he comes from like a family of spiritualists and spiritualism, right? So, God, like if we could just sit down and pick his brain, like that's our dream guest at some point, But anyway,
that would be nice. Yeah, actually, he posted last week on his social media because he's out in the UK filming the new movie.
Okay.
That he, I guess, had stayed in a haunted castle or something out there.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to look for that because I do follow him, but I didn't. Your feeds get flooded with so much junk, I guess you would say, for a nice word. We swear a little bit usually, so we're really keeping it in check today.
I'm trying.
We're trying. We try to be good. But do you have a haunted story? Do you have a situation of a paranormal instance that's ever occurred to yourself, Kris?
Oh, actually, we had one recently with the group.
Do tell.
which is kind of surprising. You don't think it's going to happen when you're, dressed up as Ghostbusters. You think that's going to intimidate any spirits away, right? But,
right.
We had an event at the Millennium Center right around Halloween.
Okay.
And we had gone for a site tour a week before, and we had done an interview with CTV that morning. And the woman's like, okay, well, let's do the tour so we know when we do the event, like kind of what's going to happen and what to expect. And we went down to the basement, the first basement, because there's actually a sub-basement there as well.
Interesting.
And there's kind of these old vaults. And as we're standing there kind of talking, the lights start going, like, dimming down, and it's pitch black down there. Like, if those lights went out, we would be trapped.
Oh, my God.
And then they start going back up, and the lady that works for Heritage Winnipeg kind of looked and was like, that's never happened before.
Oh, nice.
And we're like, okay. Like, oh, it was probably nothing. And then as soon as I said that, it started doing it again.
Yeah.
And we all just kind of look like, okay, let's get our cell phones out in case we need flashlights here. And one of my guys was like, we're just here. We're not gonna cause any trouble. We're no disrespect. And then the lights kind of went back up, and it stayed normal after that.
Yeah, good call.
That was the coolest thing I think we've had as a group.
Very cool. Very cool.
We're not gonna suck you up. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not here for. We're not here for you.
We're just saying that because we don't have the packs on us right now.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Please. Wow.
Yeah, we come in peace, all that.
Yeah.
We kind of say stuff like that too if we go and interview in a place that we know it's been haunted, or just, you get the vibe and stuff. It's just like, it's all cool. You stay here.
Yeah, no.
We're going to leave now. You stay here. Yeah. Don't follow us.
Well, and we had a lot of people coming on because it was the ghost tour of the whole Millennium Center. Right? Like, we went from the top floor right down to the bottom of the basement.
Right.
And a lot of people were coming with the meters. I forget what they're called off the top of my head.
Yes.
The electrometers.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't believe how much those things were going off.
Oh, I can believe it.
People were surprised.
Was that the one with Kristen from Square Tours or Square Pigs?
Okay.
Was that the haunted tour with Kristen? Kristen, No?
It was with Ghostwalk Winnipeg. We did it, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Very cool. And now, speaking of events, which is the reason why we want to have you on, with regards to what's happening at the Park Theatre, June 10th, correct?
Yes. So every year on June, off the top of my head, I believe it's June 8th, is Ghostbusters Day, which is the anniversary of when the original 1984 movie came out.
Nice.
So everyone kind of celebrates it their own way. I mean, next year will be a big one because it'll be the 40th.
Wow.
But we kind of thought to ourselves,
I feel old.
What can we do this year? The last 4 years, we haven't been able to participate with the Teddy Bears Picnic.
For sure.
Because of the pandemic and all that, they haven't been able to get that going again. And that was always a big fundraising event for us to help the Children's Hospital. So we kind of wanted something to fill that gap. And we just thought about, well, what if we just reach out maybe somewhere like the Park Theater? We had seen, they had, had the older movies on there like Die Hard, and like I think they're doing Star Wars this week.
Right.
And we just kind of said, we're interested in doing this. We want to do it all for charity. Like, we're not taking anything from it. And they're like, okay, well, let's figure this out. And it kind of, started out there, and we thought, maybe, we'll get, 60, 70 people come out, watch the movie, have a good time.
Yep.
And then we just started getting all these sponsors coming out.
Nice.
And wanting to help any way they could, whether it was donating prizes for a silent auction, or Six Pines bringing out they're going to bring the Ecto out. Other places, like Kiss 102.3 signed up and wanted to be a media sponsor. So they've had us on the show, and they're helping us promote it on there. And it's just
beautiful.
Snowballed to this huge fundraising event now, but completely blown us away over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
So yeah, we're going to be showing the original 2 movies. We're going to be having a photo booth set up for people to take pictures with us, and they can throw some of our gear on, so they can strap a proton pack on them. They can use a ghost trap, a PKE meter, and then we're going to have the Ecto there, weather permitting, so they can get a picture with the Ghostbusters and the Ecto. And there'll be a silent auction with tons of crazy, amazing prizes to win, and there'll be some door prizes.
It sounds like
an awesome fun day of celebrating Ghostbusters.
It's what, and for a good cause. Like, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, exactly. Everything we do, like the Children's Hospital Foundation of Manitoba is our #1 charity that we support. Every year we somehow top the year before, and I think last year we were at something like $6,000 we raised over, doing Comic-Con appearances, doing private appearances. So it's just blowing up, and it's bigger than anything I ever thought this group was going to be. To be honest, like I thought it'd be something fun we do once or twice a year.
Sit around.
Little did you know.
Yeah. You thought it was just some guys sitting around in uniform shooting off the guns and drinking beers, right? Like that's.
Yeah, exactly.
No, well, that's excellent. Right on.
Yeah, no, congratulations. That's wonderful what you guys are doing. So, okay, perfect. So that's June 10th, the Park Theater. And I guess they can just log on to Park Theater to get their tickets. Is that?
Yeah, they can go to the Park Theater to find tickets. We also have it on our social media, the link, or they can go to our website, winnipegghostbusters.com. The link's on there as well.
Okay, perfect. Great. Okay. Well, Sher, do you have any, I'm talking over you. I got her,
No,
I got the phone by my ear.
I'm sorry. I did taxes. I am not thinking very well today.
No, it's all good. It's a Tuesday. What do you want, right? So it's all good. So, well, don't hang up, Kris. I just got a couple more things to do and say to you, but we're just gonna sign off here. So we thank Kris from the Winnipeg Ghostbusters of coming onto the show and telling us all about their wonderful organization to help donate money or to raise money that is donated to the Children's Hospital, which is near and dear to our hearts.
Yes.
Great cause. So thank you so much for coming on the show, Kris, and we hope to see you soon. Alrighty.
No problem. We hope to see you guys in the future, and thanks for having us out. And remember, who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters. Wait a second. Or wait, how we end off our episodes every episode. Live like every day is your last, but Sher, never give up the ghost. That's how we do it. So, all right. Thanks.